Are you wondering how to be a successful manager in a Canadian workplace? Do you have a clear picture of how it is to work in an environment of different cultures and backgrounds? Is being a leader that can resolve conflicts effectively something you aspire to be? Hi, I'm Carla. Join me as we talk about some key concepts that will help you understand organizational behavior in a Canadian workplace. Let's dive in. In this video, we'll talk about demographic and cultural diversity, leadership and conflict resolution, and organizational culture. Diversity is the spice of life, and it's also a key ingredient for a successful organization. It means representation across a wide range of traits, backgrounds, and experience. Companies that can connect and engage with employees of different perspectives and backgrounds can succeed. One company here in Canada that has fostered a comprehensive diversity, equity, and inclusion program is Loblaw. Loblaw has a commitment to fostering a culture that embraces uniqueness, building an inclusive culture here in Canada, and denounces discrimination while breaking barriers. Diversity isn't just about fairness, it's also good for business. A diverse workforce leads to higher creativity in decision making and better service of customers. It also leads to a more satisfied workforce, lower litigation expenses, and higher company performance. A work environment where people of all origins and traits are free to express themselves will make them feel more engaged with their work and remain productive members of the organization. However, diversity also brings challenges. As we bring in people with different genders and cultures, we must keep a lookout to avoid the following issues that may arise if we are not careful. For gender, there may be a tendency for earnings gap or glass ceiling, where men are favored in terms of rewards and promotions. For race, we must be mindful of the difference between pretending to value diversity and putting a system in place that values diversity. For age, we must be able to manage people of different generations. For religion, we must attempt to accommodate employees in good faith. For employees with disabilities, we must make sure a workplace is able to accommodate them. And lastly, for sexual orientation, we must create policies to bring in a positive environment. So, how do we manage cultural diversity? We build cultural intelligence or the ability to work with people from diverse backgrounds. Avoid ethnocentrism, which is the belief that one's culture is superior to others. Connect with locals, understand that cultures change, and remember that culture isn't always the problem. Interpersonal skills are key. Leadership is another crucial aspect of organizational behavior. Companies believe in a mix of leadership style depending on the situation. Autocratic, where their word is law, democratic, where people's voices are heard, and laissez faire, where managers let their employees thrive on their own. Another challenge organizations may face among its employees is conflict. It is inevitable in any organization. It can be intrapersonal or within each individual, interpersonal, in between people, or intergroup. Potential causes of conflict are organizational structure, limited resources, task interdependence, and compatible goals, personality differences, and communication problems. But it is how companies manage conflict that sets them apart. They can change their structure, change their team composition, create a common opposing force, consider majority rule, and do problem solving. Finally, let's talk about organizational culture. Studies have found a relationship between organizational culture and company performance with respect to success indicators such as revenues, sales volume, market share, and stock prices. There are three interrelated levels in organizational culture. These are assumptions, that are beliefs about human nature and reality; values, which are shared principles, standards, and goals; and finally is the artifacts or visible, tangible aspects of organizational culture, like an open door policy or office layout. To characterize the organizational culture, we take a look at the following dimensions to help us identify, measure, and manage culture more effectively. People, how much we value fairness, supportiveness, and respect for individual rights. Stability, where we value predictability, rules, and bureaucracy. Aggressiveness, where we value competitiveness and outperforming competitors. Detail orientation, where we emphasize precision and paying attention to details. Team orientation, where we value collaboration and emphasize cooperation among employees. And lastly, innovation, where we value flexibility and adaptability to experiment with new ideas. And that summarizes the key topics in understanding organizational behavior to help us become successful managers. I hope that I was able to bring to light the importance of these concepts as it did with me. As I look back on my previous work experiences back home, I would like to think that I could have made changes or suggestions with management if I had known what I know now. People are central to an organization, and they may even say that they are the most precious assets, which is why it is important to be able to foster them into a work environment where they can truly excel and bring the most value to the company. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you found this presentation informative and engaging. Remember, understanding organizational behavior is your first step towards success in a Canadian workplace. Cheers.